It sounds like a bad horror movie. Snakes are eating Florida, but it is true. Thousands of Burmese pythons are feasting on wildlife in the Everglades, and it's a story that we wanted to cover. Our resident veterinarian, Dr. Debbye Turner Bell, is here with more. Good morning.
Good morning to you. You know, those pythons in the Everglades, in most cases, started off as pets, but most people don't know what they're getting into when they buy these predators. 12 people have reportedly been killed by pet pythons since 1984 in just the last 3 years, with the most recent heartbreaking case just a few weeks ago.
It's an emergency.
Okay, what do you need? You need a police fire or an ambulance?
I don't know, the baby's dead.
It was an unspeakable tragedy.
A stupid snake got out in the middle of the night and strangled the baby.
In July, 2-year-old Cheyenne Hare was killed by her family's pet 8-foot-long albino Burmese python, a snake that started out just inches long. So when someone gets a little 20-inch
hatchling,
it grows into this.
and it can grow into this as quickly as 3 or 4 years.
But it's not only captive pythons that worry Florida wildlife officials these days. There are thousands of pythons slithering free in the 750,000 acres of the Florida wetlands, released by their owners after they get too big to handle. How many pythons do you estimate are out here in the Everglades?
The estimate is about 150 to 175,000 pythons out here.
And how many should be out here naturally?
0.
Burmese pythons are native to Southeast Asia, but in the last 20 years, Southeast Florida has seen an explosion in the number of pythons sighted in Florida's Everglades.
A mated python can lay anywhere up to like 50 to 60 hatchlings, so they multiply quick, and they have really no natural predators.
Florida is Club Med for pythons.
And the problem is, these pythons are eating just about anything they can wrap themselves around.
They're eating our indigenous frogs, our snakes, our pigs, our deer, our alligators. They're eating everything.
This voracious python strangled, then ate a 6-foot alligator.
So the fact that it will go after an alligator will tell you that it will go after anything.
So the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission has instituted a program that allows herpetologists to find and kill Burmese pythons in the Florida wetlands. Commission Chairman Rodney Barretto hopes to eventually expand the program to train hunters to catch and kill pythons for a bounty, a cash reward.
You can grab them right on the levee, or shoot them, or kill them, or take them, or however we're going to eradicate them. I'm in favor of all the above.
Barretto and others fear these pythons won't just stay in the Everglades.
Whether it be Georgia, the Carolinas, down to New Orleans, these are all areas that will soon be home to these large pythons and other large exotic reptiles if there isn't some type of solution addressed sometime soon.
And because of that, the problem's now getting attention in Washington. Florida Senator Bill Nelson has introduced legislation to ban interstate trade and importation of pythons. And the catch and kill program that started just a little more than a week ago already has netted the first victim. We saw that in the story. So, Harry, one down, 99,999 to go.
It's so interesting because this is, you go into a pet shop or you go into the store, you
this
see
is the size when they get them.
and you think, okay, I'll have a tank, I'll have a thing. This is an exotic and amazing looking thing. And what happens?
And then they eat, and if they have the space, they grow. And they can get up to 10 to 15 to 20 feet. And once they get to that size, they become lethal to human beings.
And typically, when they get bigger and bigger, people start to think, maybe this isn't such a great idea. And then is it really just people releasing these things into the wild over and over and over again, and now they're just breeding like crazy?
Yeah, the thing is, a Burmese python is not native to this country, let alone Florida. So the only way they got there is that human beings put them out there. But there are so many out there. This bounty program only has really a limited effectiveness.
Sure.
It's just a drop in the ocean, but it's a way to get started. And scientists are really concerned that they are going to spread north. So there's a research program in South Carolina trying to see how well they adapt to other climates.
Grant Kimmerer is owner of Wild World of Animals, a Pennsylvania wildlife company, and he's brought in this giant. How big is this one again?
I would say she's a good 8 or 9 feet.
And what do they eat?
Well, at this size, she would easily eat rabbits, even possibly a very small pig, but at 25 feet, very large pig, small goats.
Cow.
Right.
Well,
But explain though, because this is a very serious situation. People had a pet like this in their home.
Right.
It gets out of its enclosure. It's a danger to human beings.
It is. It certainly could be. There's a level of responsibility that a pet owner, every pet owner, no matter what type of living creature you have, you need to pay attention to its needs, and in particular with these animals, safety. Same as a dog. I mean, you really, with dogs, a dog could be potentially more dangerous than this in the wrong hands.
Sure. Wow. This is
The thing
amazing.
is, with a snake like this, you really got to know what you're doing, and if you don't, you should not have these. These are wild predators,
Right.
And they shouldn't just be in your home casually.
Not time for amateur hour with something
And you
like
definitely shouldn't release them.
No,
right?
absolutely not. That goes for any animal. I mean, it's dangerous to the environment. It's dangerous to the animal. Most animals are not going to survive under those circumstances.
Way to go. Grant, thanks very much for bringing the examples in for us this morning.
My pleasure.
Really eye-popping stuff. Debbie, as always, do appreciate it.